boys.
We say a lot here that every disappointment is for a good. And helping us to teach our children that valuable lessons can be learned from failure is Dr. Karla Hylton. She's an educator and author, no stranger to smile. Good to have you.
Good morning.
Again.
Good morning, both of you. Very happy to be here.
We talk about failure a lot, and sometimes, you know, there's such negativity associated with that word, but it can be such a blessing, eh?
It is.
Can fail up.
Of course, you know, a lot of people feel that failure is the opposite of success, but actually it's a stepping stone.
Absolutely.
To success. And failure is important for us for personal growth, for resilience. It's actually considered a prerequisite for success. So
I think the issue, Doc, is that a lot of people look at successful people and think they just got there. And don't realize that in order to get where they got, they've encountered a lot of failure. But what they did was they took the lessons and built on those.
On it. For example, Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, he actually said, I did not fail. I actually just found 10,000 ways that did not work. Mm-hmm. You know, and look at what, you know. Right. Yeah. So we have to reframe how we look at failure. Yeah. You know, look at it as something that's going to help us to succeed, that we can learn from. You know, it teaches our children resilience.
Well, it's tough for us as adults to accept, oftentimes. Sometimes we don't even know how to process it. So the poor kiddos, sometimes, you know, we are there to help them to learn from theirs, but we don't know how to do it ourselves. So where do we start with them?
Well, you know, we have to speak to our children about failure, and everybody fails. They must have failed at something when they were learning to walk, you know, and then we all succeed at something. So we have to teach them that if it is that we fail, you know, let's learn a lesson from that failure and then use that to propel us forward, right? So we as parents, sometimes we have too great an expectation from our children, right? And we don't accept that failure is how they're going to learn, right? When a child fails in my classes, for example, I mean, we look at it, they learn now, why is it that they did that incorrectly, for example, and then they learn how to improve on that skill.
Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan said, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. Mm-hmm. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed.
Exactly.
Michael Jordan said that.
Exactly.
I say that to say, though, but you don't have to fail to succeed, though. I'm asking a question here. In other words,
I do believe that you will have to fail to succeed. You don't just do something and automatically you're a great success. We try, we fail, and then we try harder, and we use the lessons from the failure to help us to succeed. So I do believe that we have to fail. I'm sure you failed at something. I failed at many things,
many
you know?
things.
Right. So
challenge is, I think, how you go again after you failed, and how we inspire that in our children. Because, as you said, even as a part of Jamaican culture, I think we're very hard on our children sometimes.
Definitely.
When they fail, they say, you're wrong, and you're workless, and you never do this right, and why you get it wrong, and da-da-da-da. Instead of saying, okay, let's figure out where you went wrong so that it doesn't happen again. So how do you help your child to go again after what is perceived by us or by them as a failure?
Well, firstly, we also need to figure out what might be causing the failure. There is more than one reason why a child might have an academic setback. So, for example, there is a diversity of learning styles and learning differences. Perhaps a child may have a learning difference, and, you know, between the teacher and the parent, you need to decide whether or not you think that child should be assessed. So, for example, the child could be dyslexic, have ADHD, autism. But that's just one of the reasons that might contribute to failure.
Or maybe academics is just not their strength.
Of course, that
art
too.
Student, or their gift lies somewhere else.
Right, right. That is correct. They may have different interests, but you still need them to have a certain level of success. I mean,
Right.
you don't want them to be failing.
Correct.
Right? They still have to know how to do a little maths and English and so on, right? However, as I said, the learning difference could be one possibility. The environment that the child is exposed to, you know, family dynamics, the classroom setting as well. The child might require a little bit more individualized attention, and that might be absent. Overcrowded classrooms. So all of these contribute. Also, you know, there is this stigma against failure. And a lot of times children, they fear the failure and therefore do not perform as well as they could. So as parents, as educators, we need to encourage them and praise the effort rather than the end point.
It's kind of tough sometimes. I'm a football coach and I lose a lot, and I keep telling the kids we win or we learn. And I can accept that. But even when you tell them that, you see it on them face that them lose and them just mash up. And, you know,
it's the pressure from society, you know, societal pressure, you know.
All right, we have to go. Great to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you so much.
God bless you and your family. Educator and author, Dr. Karla Hylton. Coming up in the next half an hour, the new digital rising star and the power of service excellence. But before that, the second edition of News in 5 comes up now. Stay with us, please.